Hello. Okay, let me switch this. There's Chelsea. I was hoping that you were on here.
I really just hopped on. I had the busiest day ever, so.
Girl, me too. Today was one of those days that I was like, can I cancel this Zoom? Like, how bad would that make this?
Right. Oh my gosh, I get that all the time. I'm like, oh.
And today was so rough with talking to people. Like, I had 3 people give me all their information to sign up. All 3 of them had credit card decline. Didn't know they didn't have enough money on there. I was like, first off, how do you not know? Like, you just told me to order this. And then
Right.
finally signed up a customer and then got blocked from messaging, friend requesting, like basically everything because Facebook decided I was a spammer. So
Right.
it was just a crappy day, but I feel like that like one thing after another because someone is on here that's supposed to hear something on this Zoom. So I feel like the devil's trying to get us to like completely not do it.
In my headphones super quick.
Do what?
I'm gonna plug in my headphones super quick.
Okay, am I echoing?
No, I'm just.
Oh. While she's plugging in her headphones, I do want to say real quick, oh, perfect. I say with this kind of crappy day that we've had here, it's so easy to focus on the negative. It's so easy to focus on, oh, I can't message for my host to post, or I can't add friends. But sometimes Facebook is going to block you from doing something for honestly stupid reasons. Like I got blocked because I sent out like 200 friend requests last night before bed. Today I did all my follow-ups and then I started doing my host to post follow-ups, and that's when they're like, oh, we're gonna block you. So however many hours later, and they said they blocked me because I had too many pending friend requests, like too fast. Mm-hmm. So my first thought was, well, crap, I can't work today. Like I have a whole list of host to post people. I need to like go to their posts and make sure I commented on all of them or messaged all of them. And like, no joke, I attribute this to, I don't know if you can't hear. I think everyone else can hear. So I don't know. I'm not very technologically savvy, but, oh man, I get sidetracked so easily. Anyway, so I attribute this to all the self-development that we do. Like otherwise I would not have bounced back so quick, because literally 5 minutes after letting myself feel sorry for myself for a couple of seconds because I couldn't do more on my to-do list, I was like, you know what? I have an Instagram I can message from. I can still message all my friends, so I can go message through my alphabet and keep doing that because there's plenty of people I have not talked to in the last 30 days, so they need a new message from me. There's always something that you can do. So I have a lot of teammates that they get blocked and they just don't work until they're unblocked. And I literally want to shake you guys when you come to me kind of crying because, oh my gosh, Facebook blocked me from this. I can't work for a while. No, you can. That's why I am a very big advocate of do everything. Yes, get really good at one thing. Host to post is my baby. That is what I prefer. But you better believe if I don't have enough host to post, or like today I get blocked from it, I'm not just going to sit and not work. So sometimes you just have to get out of your comfort zone and go do something else until Facebook decides to stop being stupid. So it is what it is. I know Chelsea has done the same thing.
Yeah, I always allow myself like 3 to 5 minutes of like a pity party, and then I say, okay, time to suck it up, girl, let's go. Especially with this pregnancy, because I'm about halfway through my pregnancy, and I suffer from PTSD and anxiety, so it's like 10 times worse. And so I allow myself that 5 minutes, and then I'm like, all right, it's go time, let's go. You got a whole team you got to work with, so it's a good kick in the butt for me.
I don't know if you've ever read Mel Robbins' The 5-Second Rule, but she has a new book out. I don't remember what it's called. I just finished, and she says something very interesting in there, because I also have anxiety, and I had postpartum really, really bad, but I still deal with anxiety and depression. And she said whatever hormone is released when like your anxiety kicks in, it only lasts for 90 seconds. After that, you're supposed to keep that up. And I was like, crap. Like, how many times have I had like a whole crappy day because of my anxiety? When in reality, that was only a minute and a half of the day. And then I chose to keep with the bad pattern. So I so many times I read stuff and I'm like, crap, like, I feel like this was written exactly to me.
Right. I feel like that's what self-development is. That's the best. It's the best part of it.
If you guys don't know Chelsea, she just promoted to Diamond. Chelsea, when did you join? How many months ago?
It was back in November of 2017. I didn't start actually working my business until March of 2018.
Yeah, that's how I started. I don't count my start date until I started working because my account literally just sat there.
Right.
So she just claimed a $10,000 bonus, and I know she's running towards double. I'm just going to have you tell a little bit of your story, and then I'll ask you. I know I sent you those questions, but I'll just do an interview style where I'll ask you the questions. Take as long as you need. Tell us a little bit of your story. I'm going to go mute my other device because I can hear myself echoing, and it's really because I'm recording on that one and talking on this one. But yeah, just give us a little bit like why you started, when you started.
Okay.
With your story.
Sure. Awesome. All right. So, of course, as Tanya said, I am Chelsea Sear. I am a Diamond with It Global. I promoted last month to Diamond. It took a lot out of me to get there, but I made it there. So when I first, started really hearing of It Works, I was watching one of my old coworkers. I used to work at a call center with her. And I watched her for about a year. And in my head, okay, the girl who enrolled me, I was kind of thinking, I knew her work ethic and I knew who she was outside of It Works. And so it kind of made me feel like, oh, should I believe this girl or should I not believe this girl? Because I was kind of like, I just knew that she wasn't ever high in sales at the call center. She was never on time. She was always skipping out of work. And that's just not me. That's not my work ethic. I've never been like that. So when I saw her on there, I was kind of like, how is she doing this? But then she started posting about I remember talking about how she got a shopping spree and she paid for her new baby's formula. And that's when I was like, okay, I need to get in on this because Matt and I were actually $1,000 behind on our mortgage. And because of the PTSD and anxiety, instead of going the medicating route and going through like a physician's office, I started to self-medicate with drugs and alcohol. And at the time I had a 2-year-old when I first started doing this. And me and her became very distant. I pretty much worked for my habits. And I started working 2 different jobs as a nurse. So that's what's so funny about this. And I did some things I was not proud of when it came to working and then going to the tavern and then going back to work. And it was just, I became such a horrific mess. Horrific to myself, of course. So I had watched her for a year while this was all going on. It was absolutely crazy. And I just kept thinking, like, there's no way this girl is making this money. There's no way, because I just knew her. And then one day she had posted a picture of her bonus. You know how we put like a picture of ourselves with our bonus on top of the picture? It's kind of like faded. That's what she did. And I was like, okay, so this is legit. She did make that money. So I reached out to her finally. I was like, girl, I want to do what you do. And then I ghosted her probably about 3 months straight after I asked her what she did. And then I just, one day it was just enough was enough. Me and my fiance, Matt, we were fighting a lot over financials and my habits. And I don't know if it was God or what was happening, but I just woke up one day, and that's how I describe it every single day. It is so crazy how it happened. I woke up one day and I said, I don't want to live like this anymore. I don't want to be this person anymore. And I decided that I was going to start working the business. And of course, I kind of fell back into the rut of, going back to my old habits. And that's what led me to not starting working the business for about 4 or 5 months after I got started, because I was still doing the same things. And I don't know if you guys have seen on Mark Pentecost's page, but he likes to post about think it was Albert Einstein, and he quotes him and says, the definition of insanity is expecting different results but doing the same exact thing, something like that, over and over. And that's exactly what I was doing. I was expecting to make all this money with this business and change my life, but I was still going back to the tavern every single night and drinking, and still putting my child on the back burner and not really being with her, or, you know, being a mother that I really needed to be. And so one day it was just, I was started this business at this point in November 2017, and about I would say the 1st of March, Amanda Penner is my upline, if you guys didn't know that. Amanda she was very good at helping me understand my faith, because before this, I didn't have any like real faith in general in humanity or myself or you know, God himself. And she kind of helped me pull that out. And so from March 1st on, I really started working my business. And it was, like I said, I describe it as one day I woke up, and it was like all of a sudden I knew what I needed to do. Like I was called to something more, and there was something that had happened in my life that was just all of a sudden, boom, it was there. And that month I was going for Ruby. I wanted to double promote so bad. And I missed it by like, I think it was like 80 BV or something. I missed it. And, or I missed executive, sorry, not Ruby. But I missed executive by 80 BV. And the next month in April, I double promoted. I promoted to executive, then I double promoted to Ruby. And then in, I think it was September of 2018, this past year, I went Emerald. And then I went Diamond last month. So that's pretty much like how I got started. I no longer, like, I quit smoking last year. I don't drink anymore, of course. I'm pregnant right now. So I'm not going to do that while I'm pregnant at all. But me and my daughter have the best relationship ever. And I do absolutely everything with her. It's been a huge, huge change for me, not having to work 2 jobs because I retired from both my jobs. And yeah, that's pretty much how it changed my life right from the start. So
I didn't realize how similar our stories were with this, and just in general.
I knew how similar our stories were, and that's why I was like, yeah, Tanya asked me to be on a Zoom because I knew you were going to say that.
The drugs and the alcohol and the self-medicating, like all of it. And so watching your enroller, because I know who enrolled you, and I remember her in college. And if you're brand new and you're watching this and you don't know why people are not signing up from your warm market, let me tell you, they will judge you for your decisions that you've made whenever they knew you. I watched Amanda for over a year. Then I let her cold message me for about a year too. Because I knew her in college. We were roommates after college. We got an apartment together. And she'll tell you this. She was just very naive. Life was rainbows and puppy dogs. And like, she believed everything everyone said. So I was pretty sure she got scammed by somebody into this. I didn't know April. I didn't know it was her sister-in-law. I just know that she was in network marketing. I had already done that. I already failed at that. No one made money in that. So if you're brand new and no one's signing with you, but you made pretty stupid decisions in the past, that's probably why. You're just going to have to stick it out. You have to learn to network. My warm market is just now coming around to signing up with me, and I've been in for 3 years because I did the dumbest crap during college, after college, during high school. Like, no one is going to believe anything coming out of my mouth until they stalk me for a while. So
especially when you're in the like the drugs and alcohol, you learn how to hustle and you learn how to manipulate people so much to the point where they automatically assume you're lying right off the bat. And then once you get into something like this and you're being like dead honest every single day and you're just being real and everything, your warm market doesn't believe anything that's coming out of your mouth because you've already burnt bridges.
Yep. It's funny you mentioned the call center because I worked at a call center too, except I loved it. I was very good at it. Everyone that
I
worked
was
with
too.
me, no problem lying to people. I would lie to make a quick dollar. I didn't care. Like I worked up to management. I managed the call center for a few years. Like I didn't mind it. I started sucking at it when I started dating and then got engaged to my husband, and my conscience started kind of like reappearing in my life. Then I started sucking because then I felt bad about lying, so I told the truth. You don't get a whole lot of sales at like a actual salesy job by being a straight shooter. That's why I like this, because you have to be opposite of that. You have to be genuine. You have to be upfront with people, or you're not going to make it in this. So it's very opposite. Like I cringe when people are like, "Oh, I'm going to be so good at this. So glad you reached out to me. I love sales." And I'm like, baby Jesus, I hope you didn't love sales as much as I did, because I cannot work with it now. But it's funny with the background thing, because Savannah's on here. I say this almost every time we talk about backgrounds. We did not like each other in college. She knew me. I wasn't like the nicest person in the world. And she was my first distributor, because I don't know why. So you just get lucky and someone actually believes you, even though they probably shouldn't.
Right.
In her case, at least I didn't scam her. I mean, clearly I didn't lie to her. Been in for 3 years now, but
It's so good that you have your first distributor, though. Like, that is so cool.
Well, what had happened, and I like this story too, because I didn't do any of the work for her. Someone else had talked to her, and like she had been watching them for a while, and then I don't know if they didn't follow up or dropped out of the business or whatever. So when I messaged her, she just happened to be ready to already join It Works, but the other person had lost contact. So I was like the one that came and like reaped that seed. So
sucks to be them.
It was nothing that I did. I didn't even know what I was doing. And I think when she signed up, we couldn't even figure out how to get her signed up. Like it errored a couple of times because I didn't know how to walk her through the website, because I'd never gone to it. So
and that's why you don't ever quit. That's exactly why you take the quitting off the table, because there's this video that I had watched where there was a lion, and it sticks in my head. It like burns in my head. There's like a lion that's sitting there just watching his prey go by. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this before, but you're just watching his prey go by, and then there's all of a sudden this go-getter that just comes in and just swoops in and grabs the prey. And it's like, that's what happens.
I've never seen that, but that is so true.
I have to send it to you so you can see it, but it is so true. I've sent it to my team, and I'm like, guys, when you are sitting around twiddling your thumbs, this is what's happening. There's someone else coming in.
You prospect. This is why you're not afraid to cold message, because you never know. You're watching that person hoping they're going to message you, and you're trying to like and love all their stuff and good vibes. Someone else messages them and they join because they've watched all your crap, but they've been too intimidated to message you.
Yep.
So yeah,
that's exactly how it is.
So you kind of went over your background, and I know as far as like what It Works has done for you, obviously you're now you don't work any other jobs, right? You're a stay-at-home mom now.
Yep. Yeah, I've been retired since I went Ruby, and this is a funny thing. My enroller lied to me from the start. I don't know if you ever heard this, Tanya, but my enroller lied to me and told me it was going to be an instant buck. And so when I first started, I was told this, and so I quit my job the month that I went Ruby. Like I quit my full-time job like a month in, and then I was like, oh my gosh, what did I just do?
$50 a month.
Oh my gosh, I know, it was so bad. And then I went Ruby, and the month I went Ruby, I'm really good at fast starts, so I get my fast starts good. Like I go for them every single month. And so I was sitting at Ruby, and I was making pretty much a full-time income because I was enrolling and getting those fast starts like crazy.
I remember Amanda telling me that. She's like, dang, she just enrolls distributors like crazy. I struggled with distributors for a very long time, but I was good at customers. Now I can do both, which is like what you need to get up to, obviously. Like everyone, you're going to start off being great at one or the other. The goal is to be good at both. Okay, that's another question that someone sent me is, how many customers and distributors do you typically average a month?
I wrote this down just because I'm scatterbrained. I think we all have a little bit of that in us, right? So I have typically an average of anywhere from 10 to 40 loyal customers a month. That's what I average. And then and that's for those fast starts. Like those fast starts are where it's at for me. I get money going that way. Distributors, I would say anywhere from 10 to, I think my max has been like 37 in a month.
Awesome.
Sorry, go ahead. Yes. So I grow, I build my business with distributors. That's how I maintain a lot of my, I maintain my rank so well, is because I am like consistently building, like growing distributors, and then I'm teaching them how to enroll loyal customers. And at the same sense, I'm teaching them how to enroll distributors. A lot of my girls are really good at enrolling loyal customers because that's what I always start out with. And so they get on that host to post, and I'm just like, it's just a numbers game. You just got to go for it, you know? And so they get going, and that helps me maintain my rank every single month.
That's awesome. Somebody asked if you did host to post. There's your answer. She definitely does host to post.
Yeah, yep, I do.
It's funny, just a perspective thing, because when I first started doing decent, which I would say in our team, decent is like, 20, 30 customers a month.
Right.
10 or so distributors. If you go to any other team outside of Christina Watt, that is like, you are the top of the team.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
I didn't either. I'm in, I get on like every single Zoom that I can, even if I'm not invited. You better believe I have somebody's Zoom ID number and I got on there.
Me too.
Because I work from home, I homeschool, like I'm here a lot. So it's always in the background. I've always got trainings going. So there's a lot of teams have recognition, and they will call out their top enrollers at the beginning of every month for the month previous. Usually the top enrollers are like, oh, so-and-so had 20 enrollments this month total, not customers, not distributors, like 20 enrollments. Because I've been in Christina's top group since last June. And so at the end of every month, everyone shouts out all their enrollments. I'm usually like the top 10 people, 10 to 15 people, but there's always people that have like 100 plus enrollments for the month. And Christina's always like the number one. She has at least 100. I remember one month I pushed and pushed and pushed. I got my highest enrollments ever. I had 77 people sign up, customer distributor together. And I was so bummed because I was like number 6 or something. And I was like, dang, like I work so freaking hard and I cannot like be much more than average. Cause in my mind, that's not a mass enroller. That's like your average. Cause if you're on Christina, that's all I knew.
But number 6, that's number 6, girl.
Right. But still, like, that was like my highest month ever. That's not my normal. And then I remember just getting on other people's Zooms, other top leaders. Stephanie and Joel Dunn will talk about their top leaders. The really, really, I could not think of their names. Drew Keller. Get on their mornings and they'll talk about their top enrollers. And it made me really realize, like, we're blessed to be in Christina's team because we think that the average is average, where our average for our team is like the top of the company. So it makes you work harder when you don't realize how well you're doing. Because I remember even at conference, they said, if you're a mass enroller, raise your hand. And I was like, well, I'm not a mass enroller. And then they went to say, if you average 30 people or more a month, you're a mass enroller. I was like, oh, I'm a mass enroller then. Like, I don't consider that, because everybody on the team does that. So it's funny, the perspective of it. Like, I guess it's a blessing and a curse to be on our team, because you're like, oh, I do like 10 to 40, and any other team that's like, okay, you're freaking like top of the.
You're awesome, right?
Yeah. Which I think is awesome. Like, I used to think Christina was kind of full of crap when she would talk about, oh, you're in the top team and we're the fastest growing team and blah, blah, blah. Until I started paying attention to the numbers that are being announced, we really are the top team and the fastest growing team in the entire company. So, like, it's awesome to be part of the top team. Do you also cold message?
Yeah, so I wrote this down too. So cold messaging has, everybody, it's a tricky, it's a sensitive subject for a lot of people. They don't know what it is. They don't know, I feel like there's so many different definitions of cold messaging. And to me, what a cold message is if you're not friends with someone on Facebook and you go and just randomly shoot them a message and they've never seen your post, they've never been friends with you, whatever. And I actually heard this from April Jennings, because I've had so many girls on my team when I was first starting that were like, should I really be cold messaging? You know, and I'm just like, wait, what? Because I don't see it as cold messaging. Yeah, I don't see it as cold messaging. If they're friends with you on Facebook or they're from a host to post, girl, they're asking for it. Like, you know what I mean? Like they get on your Facebook, they're already bound to see your post. They know what you do. You know what I mean? And so I don't consider myself as a cold messenger because I guess my definition of a cold messenger is someone who messages someone who's not following or friends with them on Facebook, right?
That's what my definition is, but I know most people in this company, it's just if you prospect, you cold message, which isn't the same thing, but I just think like that's just what people call it here.
Yeah.
But I think the reason that you understand what a cold message actually is because you worked at a call center. You would randomly like message or not message, call everyone and their mom that did not know you.
They weren't expecting you. Right.
Down a list, like dialing numbers as fast as you can. So yeah, I don't consider it a cold message, but I know what they were asking is just do you message. Are you in rank makers? Do you know what that is?
Amanda, I think, had said something to me about it.
Because I think you would really like it. There's a lot of us in it. A lot of the top leaders in the company are in it. It's ran by Ray Higdon. He's like the number one network marketing person like in the dang world.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd love that.
But yeah, the trainings are so awesome. And he makes you see cold messaging or prospecting or whatever in such a different light. And he also has like so many tips on how to make them not spammy. Like all of my, some people just don't respond, but all of my responses now, instead of like, I used to get some pretty negative ones because looking back, my messages were a little bit spammy. All of my responses now, even if the answer is no, like they're so nice about it. Like it's just so many aha moments. I don't know if you're in there or not, but I tell everyone, if you hit Ruby and you're pushing for more ranks, definitely by the time you're diamond, like get in that group.
Yeah.
How do you friend request? I think they're just wanting to know like
how I go about it. Right. Okay. All right. So there's a couple different ways that I've gone about doing it. And one of my biggest ways, okay, what I did was I went on Google, and some people might like shun me for saying this, but I went on Google and I looked up the most successful places in the United States. And I found certain towns and certain cities and things like that. And so what I do is, it's really funny how I say it, and I do
people Googling.
Yeah, I do it. I say it to every single person every new person that I tell to do this on my team. They're like, what are you talking about? So what I do is I go to my Facebook page and I type in a random guy's name. And then usually I'll go to refine search by a town or a city or whatever. And I'll type in one of the most successful areas in the United States. And I expand only in the States. I know we have a huge market here still. And I hate having to worry about what's it called? The currency, right? I hate having to do that. I already got so much going on. So I will expand eventually, just not right now. So what I do is I type in one of the towns that are most successful, or even just if I want to expand to a certain place. Like right now, I'm in the process of expanding to like Alabama. And so I'm typing in like random places around there. Yeah, I got a couple girls on my team from Alabama. I love them down there. They're awesome.
Guys, hit diamonds. She's gonna be giving you a run for your money for that state.
Right. I got a couple girls from Alabama right now, and they are just representing my team. I just love them. They're awesome. So as far as that goes, anyways, I type in a random town, and then I go and find like I go find a guy that has like 1,000 or more friends on his Facebook. And let's be honest, most guys that you see on Facebook, I'm not just saying this, I've witnessed this, that they have women on their Facebook. And especially if you're going from those towns who are mostly successful, they're going to have a lot of girls who went to college, who are, go-getters, they're pushers, because that's sexy, that's attractive to them. And so I go on an adding spree on their friends list. I don't add them. I just add all the successful women, or the women who are, got their stuff together on their Facebook. And usually I get a lot of ads back this way. Some people do, some people don't, but it's definitely a good way to try.
I don't remember who I heard, some other top leader, not the Googling the successful people, successful cities, but finding hot guys and friending all their women friends.
I heard it about a year ago. I heard someone say this, and I want to say it might have been is it Lachelle?
I think I heard
something.
Say it.
Yeah, I can't remember her last name is, but I follow her on Facebook, and I want to say she was on a Zoom and she had said something, but I could be wrong.
Right, somebody said it.
Yeah.
We have, I hate that I can't see how much time we have left. Everybody else can. We have less than 10 minutes. I know that.
Okay.
So the last two questions is, how many hours do you work a day? Which I know probably varies, but if you can tell us kind of what a typical day looks like. And if you only had 1 hour to work your business, what would you do? Can you see the time on your end, or no? How much is left?
I cannot. Does anybody know where I can find that?
I don't know how to see it on here. Savannah,
I'm on a phone.
If you want to text.
7 minutes, 35 seconds.
All right, so I'll make it super fast.
To answer those.
Okay, so the two questions was how many hours I work, and then if I only had an hour a day to work, what would I do?
Yep.
Right.
So what your typical day looks like is, I think, what they're wanting to know.
Okay, awesome. So my typical day, okay, I have a 4-year-old, almost 5-year-old, if you guys don't know this. And I also have a baby on the way. I'm 20 weeks pregnant. And so my typical day, I would say I wake up and I usually start with my business first. And I learned this from April a long time ago, even though she just did a video in I think it was Diamond Divas about this. She did a Zoom a long time ago, probably like over a year ago now, about this same exact thing. And so I always start with my business first. I get done my messages, I get done my posts, and then I have a consistency group for my team where I post in there what to do every day. It's kind of like the VIP group that you have, Tanya. But it's a messenger group. And so I go in there and I post all the tasks to do. A lot of them are somewhat repetitive. And then usually what I do is my daughter wakes up around that time, normally 9 o'clock. So I get all my work done before 9 o'clock in the morning. Usually it takes me about an hour and a half. And then I get her up, I get her eating, bathed, dressed, whatever. And then we hang out pretty much all morning long until afternoon. And then around 1 o'clock, usually I spend that time working my business. But lately, because I'm so exhausted with this pregnancy, I've had to take naps in the afternoon. And so I've rescheduled myself. And I've said, okay, well, I know I need to take these naps during the day for my health and for my baby's health, but I need to find a different slot where I can put my work into. And so I take a nap usually around 1 o'clock, and then till 2 o'clock, and then Bailey and I usually play from 2 to 3. And then I find that the best times to get my host to post out, like my prime times, are right around 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock at night. And so my fiance comes home around 4:30, 5 o'clock. So I get all my host to post out before he gets home. And then I eat dinner with him and my daughter. And then I would say around 8 o'clock, that's when I do my last power hour for the night. And then I just get my daughter ready for bed. And then I usually go on an adding spree before I go to bed. And that's what my day looks like. So it's not like a set in stone schedule. I'm not like, I don't write things down like as far as time blocks go, because, my daughter, she's really unpredictable. I just never know whether she's going to completely destroy any plans that I had that day. You know what I mean? So, a lot of the times it's just all over the place. But what I do, and my team knows this too, is that I have little note cards, and they're colored note cards. And every single day I write down things that I need to get done that day. And if I know what I need to get done that week, I'll write all my note cards out for the week. So I know exactly what I need to get done every single day. And then I just do it. I find the time during the day where she's sleeping, or when she's in the bathtub, or, you know, when she goes to bed at night, or if her father takes her outside to go play, then that's my prime time to work. And so that's pretty much it. And then if I only had an hour to work, if I had a really busy schedule, I would do the main things that I normally would do, which would be I would post at least 2 to 3 times a day. And I don't post, my posts are not spammy. They're not join my team, or I need 5 spots, or I need 3 spots. I don't follow the what's the thing called, Tanya, that you do with the
the 5-day
posting, right? Yeah, I don't follow that, but it's very similar to that. It's just not scheduled. I do a lot of attraction marketing. I talk about myself, and then I go off of whoever comments or likes on my post. I go and message. That's literally what I do. And I feel like I find that I get a lot more responses from the people, if I'm posting about myself and who I am and the things that I'm going through, rather than posting about the products constantly. And so I stress that to my team so much. Talk about you. Tell your story. That's what I do with posting. So I would post, I would add people, I would message for distributors, and how I do that is from my post. I literally send a simple message saying, hey, thanks for the love on my post. Have you ever thought about doing what I do? I think that's like classic. A lot of people use something similar, or something, you know, a version of that. And then I would message for host to post, and I would follow up.
Awesome. You're basically right on time. I think we have like 2 minutes or something.
Okay, perfect.
So thank you so much for hopping on here. I think I got a lot of good information, so I think everybody else did.
Right. Also, I did want to say too that I do have a YouTube channel, and it is public. So if anybody ever wanted like any different views on trainings, you can always utilize my YouTube channel. It's always open for you guys.
What are you under? What name are you under?
It's called CN. What I'll do is, let me just go here real quick, and I'll drop it in the
I
comments.
Probably would be better, because it's going to cut off in just a second. Drop it in the March VIP group. I think everyone on here is in there. And then obviously our own team page, but that way they can actually go copy it.
Yep, that's fine.
Yeah, so thank you for hopping on. It's funny because some interviews are very like interview, and it's like almost force feeling, which isn't bad. Like it's people you don't know. I didn't know how this was going to be because I haven't actually like talked to you other than 5 seconds at conference.
Right.
It was just like a conversation. So it was
right
much easier.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So have an awesome whatever today is. I don't even keep
Thursday.
Thursday.
Me either.
Thursday. All right. Bye, guys.
All right. Bye.